Hello, guys. Welcome once again to another review and recap of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And now we're talking about the season finale, season 16 finale. And when I say that I was so disappointed by this finale, I mean I was disappointed by this finale. They could have wrapped this up in the last episode, because this if this is the episode that they're calling the finale, I'm so disappointed, because finales is supposed to be like a grand, grand, like it's supposed to be so grand that you will now be anticipating. Okay, I'm anticipating the reunion. I want to, I want to see how the reunion will be. I want to see what will be said in the reunion. But this season finale, it didn't do it for me.
So what did
How
you
did you feel
score it?
about? I scored the
What did
reunion
you score? A
one.
one? Oh wow.
Yes,
Oh
for
wow.
for a reunion, because this is not just an episode. No, so I said reunion for a finale. This is not just an episode. This is a finale.
Right,
You know,
right.
it was disappointing. So I give it a
Yeah,
one.
I got kind of lost up in the sauce myself, because I was just, it wasn't really keeping my attention. The only thing that really kept my attention was the enforcer, Charles, because Charles don't
Mm-hmm.
play. You could tell that man don't
Yeah.
play, so everything else was like, oh, I could skip Brit and her family little thing. I can skip Kelly and her little thing. It's just a lot of I could just skip. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like wasted airtime as far as I'm concerned. Fillers, as you put it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
was
I give it about a 2.75.
2.75. At least you did
Yeah.
better than me.
Well, that's only because of Charles. You know, his
Yeah.
his little parts in it. Oh, him and Angela kind of scrabbling over. Yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Yeah. But anyway, let's go on. Let's go ahead and talk about this very disappointing season finale, guys. Um, we got to see Porsha, um like, it was so disappointing that I really did not see any relevant story. But let's talk about the fact we had to sit down and talk about Portia and her going through and dealing with the loss of her cousin. I felt like, I'm sorry, I feel bad for the dead, and I wish them well. But I literally did not think that that should have been something that was so beneficial to be in the season finale. I'm sorry. It was just like a waste of how many minutes that, and it was long.
Yeah.
We got her talking about the cousin. Then Phaedra was there. What was Phaedra even doing there? Phaedra was a big and I will say it out loud. Phaedra is a big disappointment in this season. A very big disappointment. And if she thinks that leaving married to medicine and coming to Real Housewife was like she did this big thing, she did nothing. Because at the end of the day, I felt like she even had more input on the married to medicine than she had on this Real Housewives.
Right. I
Bec-
mean, I'm not getting it. She's not married, so why is she on the Atlanta Housewives? I mean, I love Phaedra. Don't get me wrong. Probably the hardest working woman in Atlanta. But what I'm saying is she's not a housewife. There's no housewives out there. Like everybody's single or newly divorced. Like what the heck is going on? You know
Man,
that they got to keep
you,
getting these repeat offenders on the show, you know, and giving them a part to play. Like they need a new
I,
title for that show. Serious.
I'm telling you, a very serious one. You see, do you know? I don't know whether you've seen the trailer for the reunion.
Yes, I did.
Look at the fact that on a normal housewives, you will see their husbands.
Right.
And the only person that was the husband there was Charles. That was disappointing to see.
Yeah, especially since Brit didn't come, so you know her husband wasn't gonna come.
No, if Brit was there, her husband would have come.
Oh yeah.
But amongst, there were how many ladies there? And only Charles.
That's crazy.
Even Shamea's husband was disappointing to me because I expected him to be there, but we know we didn't really see him on the show like that. So, um,
Right,
but
right.
still,
The only interactions he had was just straight with Shamea and really nobody
yeah,
else. You know.
I felt like that scene with Porsha and Phaedra talking about Lundy. I know I love Lundy and I feel bad for her death. And it pained me when I heard about the death when the show had not even aired. I felt so bad. But me staying on my TV screen and watching the show, and I was expecting a phenomenal finale to see that play out for about um 10 minutes. I was like, what the heck? They don't have anything to do, nothing important for them to be showing me that. Because what did I get out of that? That you're planning the funeral, right?
Right.
That was it. So for me, I felt like unnecessary to be in a finale. They could have left that in the last week's episode. They
Yeah.
could have pushed, they could have pushed that in last week's episode, not in the finale. I'm so disappointed, and I've said it since the episode one. I felt like this season has been underwhelming, very very underwhelming, and I won't blame them. Maybe because I put my hopes too much. That's why it's not good to put your expectations so high, so that when your expectation is not met, you will not feel disappointed. Because I went into this season of Real Housewives with high expectations.
I know Yuzo, it kind of makes you want the old crew back, Candy them, huh?
I am telling you, at this point, bring back Kenya. Okay, I can stay without Kenya. Bring back Malu. Bring back
Yeah,
Sanya. Let
yeah,
them bring in that mess that we usually have. Like,
yeah.
oh my god. Oh my god. Bring back Nini.
I know we called for change, and like they gave it to us.
And
They
another thing,
changed our dollar in real quick.
why did I have to see Shamea perform? I don't understand. What is my business with her performance?
I don't know. I mean, I love Shamia, but
I was confused when they were like, they were showing us Shamea's. They could have put these things in between those episodes. In episode 10, 11, 12.
yeah.
Why am I okay now? I watched Shamea sing and went off key sometimes. What did I benefit from it?
Well,
Then
she
I
ain't
saw
no
her
Beyonce.
then I saw her husband go and give her a flower and she praised her husband and be like, oh, you're gonna get a good thing tonight. Oh my god. That's why if it was possible for me to give this finale 0, I would. I absolutely, because when I was watching it, I was like, oh my god, I am so disappointed. Like,
Mm,
I didn't just know. I was like, so this is what, because you know what pains me? I hate when I wake up for a show because our time zones is very far.
right.
Whenever the show airs, that is 2 a.m. my time.
Oh, okay.
Yes. 2 a.m. in the morning my time.
Mm,
So I literally sometimes would have gone to bed. I set my alarm for to wake up probably by one something. And
wow.
I wake up and I take my phone and I log in and I start watching. And to now go and see this, you know, to see that very disappointing stuff is painful because I could have just slept all through the night. I could
Wow.
have just slept all through the night and have peace of mind.
Yeah, see,
So for me,
I
it was
recorded.
so. No, you know the reason why I'm waking up because I'm watching. There's this other show I'm watching, and it airs also the same time with the Real Housewives. I don't know whether I've heard about
Oh,
it. Love
okay.
Island,
Okay. Love
Love Island
Island?
US. Yes.
No, I haven't been watching that.
Oh yeah. So I'm a very huge fan of Love Island.
Mm.
So Love Island US always airs the same time um with Real Housewives.
Oh,
So
okay.
I usually wake up every day that the episode it airs like Monday, Tuesday, then Thursday, Friday to Saturday, Sunday to Tuesday, Thursday to Saturday. So those days I'm waking up to watch the episode
Oh,
of the Love
wow.
Island US.
Mm.
So this period, that's the only thing I was able to console myself because okay, I could just like leave it and go and watch that.
Right.
Because I swear to God, I didn't understand why I was watching Shemia's performance. It didn't make sense to me. Now, performance was done. Let's talk about Shamea and Brit having that conversation.
Hmm.
Now, Cynthia went to tell Shamea what Brit said about the Porsha thing and the text message. And I've said, if you watched my review last week, I said last week that I believe that Shamia did what Brit said because there's no way Shamia knew the context of that message if she didn't see it.
Right.
And she was saying it out to Porsha. Porsha was like, oh, no, that was not my attorney. That was my therapist. So for her to already get a hint of what the message was, Shamia did show the message. It's not possible for Brit to magically know the contents of the message if she wasn't shown. Now,
Right.
that aside, I'm one person that believes that Shamia showed the message. Now, she decided after Cynthia told her, Brit decided to confront, Shamia decided to confront Brit after her performance. And when I tell you that was the most childish confrontation that I've ever met. And the fact that these women are grown ass women that have kids, man, I was disappointed in that argument between Brit and Shamia. It was giving childish teenage fights. You know when you're having a teenage fight or you're okay, or let's say yeah, teenage fight, and you want to say something to hurt the person. Oh, you want to one up. And Shamia also brought out that drug stuff. It shows me that her and Kelly have been conspiring a lot about Brit. It isn't hard. Because why did you have to bring up the fact that she's a druggie? Again, this is the second time it has come up. Now, I'm not going to fault any of them for what they said because every one of them were trying to one up each other. And Shamia, one thing I know about Shamia is that I've listened to Shamia, I've watched their interaction on social media and the responses. And I would say that Shamia somehow is somebody that knows how to twist the truth or twist the narrative. Because she kind of said that Brit was coming for her child. But what Brit said, let's be honest, did Brit literally come for her child or Brit came for her as a parent?
Okay. First off, let me just give my opinion about Shamea and Britt having this conversation to begin with. Look,
Yeah.
Britt has too many receipts of
Mm-hmm.
of what was seen from your phone. You know, I I don't know if Shamia thought that, hey, if I have this friend group with Brittany and Kelly, it'll never interfere with my relationship with Porsha.
For sure.
And
Mm-hmm.
and will these ladies get close enough to Porsha where they tell her everything that I say to them in private about Porsha when I just need to let off some steam? You know what I'm saying? So for her to get the information from Cynthia right there, that should have been an eye opener. Like, hey, you know what? Let me I'm busted. Let me either say something about it or move the fuck on, and we'll discuss it on the reunion. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But no, Shamea wants to confront this girl, and say all these things, but the proof is in the pudding. You know, you said what you said, and you said what you said. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
Brit runs and goes and tells the information. So now you have to talk to Porsha. You know, and if you're gonna confront Brit, it should have been like, girl, why'd you go to her and say, like, like, especially when the you both know the truth. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
she had options to do: either go straight to Porsha and handle it, or go to Brit and be like, girl, why did you go and tell Porsha every damn thing I say to you? Damn, I thought you was my girl. Like, say something. You see what I'm saying? But she didn't. She chose her way, which to confront and deny and confront, then accuse her of it. Maybe it's her present, maybe it's her past, as far as drug abuse, pill abuse. You know what I'm saying? But evidently, you don't like her if you could bring up something so hateful and harmful. You know what I'm saying? Look,
Uh-huh.
if you my girl and I know your deepest secret, when we arguing, I'm not gonna throw it up in your face. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the issue that we're having is what I'm gonna be talking about, not something you did and told me in confidentiality. I don't roll like that. You see what I'm saying? I don't pillow talk. And I don't uh kiki it up. That's just leaves such a nasty taste in my mouth. you know but now, to get back to your original question, which was your original question which was
My question was, you Shamia, she kind of said it before on social media, and I think on the show, I can't remember. She said that Brit came for her child, right? Now, this conversation, now, for me, I did not think that Brit came for the child. I think that Brit came for her as a parent to the child, not per se for the child. Maybe because I'm not a mother and I don't understand the language, but I felt like she was coming for Shemia as a parent, not at the child itself. So I
right.
wanted to maybe I didn't just understand. Do you feel like in that statement she made about the fact that Shemia's was faking the child stuff, and immediately she came back to Atlanta, instead of her to go see her child, she went drinking with was it Kelly or Porsha? I don't know who she said she went drinking with. I felt like she was coming for her as a parent and not for the child itself.
um you know when you're arguing with a bunch of women, and then,
Mm,
look, you could say what you want to say about me, but when you bring my sick child or even one of my well children into the conversation, now we have a bigger problem.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? And I don't
mm,
think you're ready to solve the first problem. Now you're starting the second problem with me. And that just kind of turns lights out in my head. And that's
mm.
just me personally, you know.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, I think the whole conversation about just, the slight, well, hey, did you go see your daughter when you got back from Grenada? I think that was just out of hand, under the belt,
Yeah.
trying to gut check me, you know? And it's like, you don't even have kids, but you want to bring my kid up into this? Don't let my kid be part of your storyline. Don't let my kid have you get your ass kicked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because mothers, we're protective of our children. You know, and a grown woman just ain't gonna just say what she wanna say. Nah, that ain't happening. You know.
But she
So,
didn't say anything about the kid, right?
well, no, she didn't say anything
Maybe
bad
I'm
about the
just
kid, but I'm just saying, just the fact of bringing it up. Look, if me and you are having an argument, don't bring my children up into it. You're arguing with me. Don't say nothing about my kids trying to hurt me, because see, it just, ooh, 50 cent don't make a dollar.
yeah.
So that's just me. you know I just think that the children should be left out of the conversation when you're arguing.
For
No.
me, I don't believe in also bringing in other people in argument, like mothers,
Yeah.
um, children. Um, well, one thing people were like, the way Shamea did explain it and the way Shamea talked about it, I felt like when I heard Shamea explain it on social media before this episode air, I thought that she specifically was like talking bad about Shemia's child and her sick child. Like the way that's why I
No,
say
she didn't.
Sh- Shamia has this thing about
The truth.
um, twisting the truth.
Mm.
You get there is the truth and there's twisting it. Yes, she mentioned your child,
Yeah, but she
but
didn't say anything bad.
she didn't say anything bad about your child. She didn't
Right.
come for your sick child. She didn't call your sick child name.
No.
Right? The only thing she
True.
said about the child was that you were claiming to be a good mother or whatever, instead of you to run straight to your child after coming back from Grenada, you didn't do that. You went drinking, right? Um,
Hmm.
but when she said that, she kind of made it seem as if Brit said a very bad statement about her child. So for me, when it's like you've heard something about somebody and you've put that mental note on your head that this person said something bad about this person's child. I don't know whether you understand where I'm going to.
No, I
Then
understand where you're going.
now you watching the episode and you're not like, is this the thing she said about the child? There's nothing being said about the child there.
No,
She didn't. I
correct.
was literally in my head mentally waiting for her to literally say bad thing about the child, like say something insulting or something bad about that child. Until when I heard what she said, I was like, no, this is not about the child. This is about you, but concerning your child.
Right.
It's pertaining your child, but it's about you
Right.
yourself.
Right.
So like that made me, after watching it, I felt like Shamia is one person that twists things to suit her own narrative. Yes, something might happen. There might be a cup here, and Shamia might twist it. Okay, there's a cup here, but it's color blue. But it's red
Mm.
in color, but she calls it color blue. I feel like that is the kind of person Shamia is. And I'm beginning to find her untrustworthy. I kind of liked Shamia from the beginning of this season, but as we've gotten to the finale, no, I do
Mm.
not. And also watching the trailer for the reunion,
Hmm.
I'm kind of looking at Shamia like, okay, wow, you know, she's not somebody
Hmm.
that you can trust her words. She's not someone you can trust her words. So I feel, I don't know, but in all, that argument between the both of them was below the belt. And Shamia was, the way Shamia was walking out thinking that she won the battle. None of you won.
Exactly.
The way Shamia was walking like, yeah, yeah, you are a, did she call Brit? Like you are a, is he a naked? I've forgotten The word she attributed to Brit. But I was like, baby girl, you're walking out as if you won anything. You didn't win nothing. You didn't win any award. That was the most childish fight I have seen between two grown ass women. Two grown ass women. One of you has children,
Huh.
and the other is aspiring to have children, and the both of you are crying like teenagers having if it were teenagers that were having these issues or having that altercation between themselves, I'll be like, okay, it's teenagers, yeah. All right, they can argue like that. But you grown ass women that has gone through stuff in life,
Right.
you've gone through hardships in life, man. Let's do better.
Huh.
Yeah, that was what I was watching. I was like, let's do better because this is not it. Is this what when I was watching it, you know what came to my head immediately I watched that scene? I said, is this what the Real House of Atlanta is about now?
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Mm.
because I knew when the OGs, the other OGs, when they are having issues, they don't go too much below the belt like that. Like, oh my God.
Huh.
I was like, I don't know what they are gonna do, but I think that they need to do another reshuffling.
Mm.
Yeah, for cast members.
It wouldn't hurt.
So I don't think they've gotten the cast. I don't think this is the cast members. I don't think this is it. I don't think these cast members we have here can do anything. And we also had to see in the episode also Drew and Ralph. I was like, skip, skip, skip.
I don't blame you. I was too. I was
When
too. I
I saw
just
Drew and Ralph on my screen, I was like, skip, skip, skip to the next scene, to the next scene. What the heck am I watching Drew to talk about what? The divorce that has never happened for how many? I'm tired.
yeah, I get it. I get it. I'm exhausted too from their so-called
And that
divorce.
and that is why I will keep on saying that this episode was a disappointment from Bravo for a
Mm,
finale, an utter disappointment. While I was still even talking about the fact that I got to see Ralph and Drew on my screen, and I didn't understand why I had to see them talk about their relationship that I don't even understand what the relationship is. I then get to see Phaedra with, is it Check or whatever is his name, them talking about their love. I was like, please, Jesus, save me from this season finale.
and that's funny. Yeah,
Because what am I watching Check and Phaedra for?
yeah. I kind of
When I know it's
wondered
fake
that
love.
too.
All this is fake love because she was on Andy's show and was like saying she wanted to go to, I don't know whether you've seen this new show of Bravo Love Hotel. I don't know whether you watched it,
No, I haven't watched
where
it.
they would have some of the housewives that are single. They will go to, it's like they'll go to, and they'll be in a house trying to find love, and they'll bring in some men to
Mm-hmm.
see if they can get connection with them. So
Mm-hmm.
they just did the first season, and people that were there was Giselle, Ashley, and some other housewives. And now she was saying that because the season has finished, she was telling Andy that she would love to be in the season two because people were saying that Porsha was going to be in season two. She was saying that she would love to be in the season two with Porsha. How would you be claiming you have so much great of a love story with Czech when you are busy outside talking about wanting to go to the Love Hotel season two? Man, that part was another skip for me because that was disappointing to watch. That was very disappointing to watch. But we also got to see in Angela's and not Angela, Ashley and Charles event, they special honor to Portia's cousin. I loved that. I see anything from my girl. I wasn't hearing you anymore.
Oh yeah, I'm still here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just had to do
Mm,
something real quick. But yeah, I
no
thought
problem.
that was really sweet. You know
Yeah,
that
that
they did a dedication like that for Portia.
I loved that they did that. That was amazing, and it's all amazing. It was nice. But now, in the premises of that event, we got to see Angela talk to the ladies about what took happen in Kelly's event, and the fact that they said that Marcus said that somebody paid him to literally do what he did. I was like gagged. I was like, okay, who is to be blamed? Then we started seeing the blame party. Um, this person was Angela was like, Kelly, because it was from your event, blah blah blah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was I'm looking at you side eye. Then she was like, oh, maybe you should look at Brit. Then Brit was like, Angela was like, Brit, we are not that close, but I don't think you should be coming for my marriage or for those kind of things. And Brit was like, I'm also married and I would not love that to happen to me. So I don't think I will go below like that to do that. When she was saying she was trying to like plead her case, the way Kelly and this lady was behaving, Shamea, it was giving me childish children, mean girls, attitude. That was what it was
Mm-hmm.
giving me. And I've always said that I'm eyeing Kelly. I cannot have somebody as Kelly as a friend.
Mm.
A kind of Kelly as a friend. I can't. I hate those kind of friends that would throw you under the bus to get what they want. And don't catch me with them. I hate that. Now, after Angela trying to like blame, like trying to like, okay, who is this? The person is the person. She said she brought Marcus to tell them because Marcus told them that he was paid by somebody. Just for Marcus to come in and he was asked who was the person, and he said Phaedra.
Right.
Did that shock you?
Yeah, I mean,
And do
Phaedra's
you believe
messy.
it? Did that shock you? One, did you believe it too?
It shocked me, because I mean, Phaedra's messy, you know, but I, the guy just seemed kind of unbelievable, To me, he seemed unbelievable. So, I don't know if I truly believe what he's saying about, um,
Phaedra.
yeah, that it was Phaedra.
Now, for me, that was shocking to hear that it was Phaedra because last week we were kind of saying that it was Drew because we saw the preview. Drew was the one bringing him in. That's why sometimes I don't be always believing those trailers
Mm,
or those sneak peek because the sneak peek made it look as if it was Drew. Meanwhile, Drew was the one that was welcoming him in. Um, but do I believe it? I would say I'm 50-50 on it.
mm, okay.
50, I believe it because of what Phaedra did with Candy. Um, 50 because I feel like does she have to gain? You
Okay.
know,
Mm-hmm.
they are just new. Her and Candy, yes, you could understand why their relationship went sour, right?
Right.
But Phaedra and Angela, I'm like, what is there? Like, if except if they were friends before the show or enemies before the show, except if there was something like that and we're not aware, right?
Right.
That's it. But if I'm looking at the show, this is the first time they're on the show. Why is it like this? Yeah, I would not trust it. But considering Phaedra's past, sometimes they say your past sometimes counts for you.
Right.
Considering Phaedra's past, I also would believe it. But we also saw the guy. The guy came out on social media last week and was like, "Oh, he was paid." He also now came out on social media also like saying that he was paid by Angela to say it was Phaedra. So that part, I would look at the guy and be like, "Okay, the guy is not serious because he was now exposed. He was literally exposed because people didn't like what he did in last week's episode. He was exposed and his arrest record was exposed. I think he's a sex offender or something like that.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my.
So he was really exposed. So I feel like he did not expect this kind of stuff to happen,
Well,
right?
I guess he
And
wouldn't have.
yeah. So my own thing is he's now coming outside to be like it was Angela that paid him to say it was Phaedra. Now my question is, if somebody asked you to come and talk about Angela, because there's no way Angela will pay you and say, "Come and talk about my husband that way on camera."
That's
There's absolutely no way. So there was somebody still, even if it was not Phaedra, there is somebody that asked you to come and do that rubbish you did.
hmm,
So those ladies at this moment, I'm looking at them, they are not to be trusted. They are like those kind of friends you eat with them with a long fork, right?
right.
You, you smile with them, but you don't smile with them. Because why would you go as far as being like, yeah, I want to bring someone to tell a story about your husband just to what is your aim? Destroy our marriage? Make us fight?
That's
No,
crazy.
it doesn't make sense. And I hope they will resolve it. That's one part I'm wanting to see in the reunion because Angela came with receipt, so I want to see if that receipt is true. So I I I can't wait for the reunion to see how that will play out. That's one part of the reunion I'm like anticipating. I'm waiting for. Um, then we also saw during the whole argument of, let's say Angela kind of coming for Phaedra, we saw Brit and Shamea also got into an argument again. I'm like, are you guys not okay? Which now untimely, yeah, which now we saw Brit walk out. A lot of people were saying that Brit could not handle it, that's why she walk out. How did you feel about that altercation that happened in that thing that made Brit eventually walk out from that whole scenario?
Well, I mean, she had a rough season. You know, who she thought was her friend, she found out it really wasn't her friend. You know, she
Yeah.
got a bunch of backlash from like all the women, basically. I mean, her and Shamea done been through it. Her and uh, Porsha been through it from the beginning. Uh, her and the only person she didn't really have beef with was Cynthia
Hmm.
and probably Phaedra. You know, but everybody else, I kind of remember beef. You know, so hey, everybody ain't built for it. You know, now,
Yeah.
especially when you got some skeletons in the closet. Expose them all. If you're gonna be on the show, don't let nobody else write the story when you got the
Hmm.
pen in your hand. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
That's giving people too much power.
So you felt the walkout was reasonable?
Well, I mean, she's not built for reality TV. She's not. You got to have thick skin.
Hmm.
You know, I've never been on a reality TV show, but I do believe the ones that survive are the ones that got the thickest skin.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I I guess it's the end of the era for her because she's not going to be in the next season now. You know one thing that also pissed me off before we end this review? One thing that pissed me off in this episode was that they did this little court and do like they went after showing us where the ladies are in life right now. They then went ahead and showed us Porsha be able to shoot in her house. I'm like, why do I need to know that? Like, what? Why? Why? Bravo? Why?
Yeah, we could have done without that.
My God. See, when I tell you that watching that episode was, when you become depressed after watching something. Oh my God.
That's funny.
That was how it was for me. Like, I watched the episode and I just dropped my phone and I was like, what did I just watch?
And why?
What did I just watch? Was this a season finale? No,
That's
this wasn't.
crazy. Yeah,
They were,
that's all they could really give us, I guess.
man, they need to do better. They need to do better for the next season of the Real Housewives of Atlanta if they want the show to survive.
Yeah, I agree. They should do better.
But anyway, let's not talk here. Let's wait for the reunion. Let's see how the reunion will play out. You know,
Mm-hmm.
let's see how the reunion will play out. Then we'll now know that, okay, fine. Yeah, it's about time you guys wrap it up, or maybe, okay, we can endure it. But that is where we're going to be ending this episode of The Real Housewife. We'll be back here same time next week
Mm-hmm.
for the reunion part one. Hopefully, it's going to be better than the finale episode. I hope it is because I'm disappointed in this episode so much. So hopefully it's gonna be better. Don't forget to like, comment your thoughts and opinion on what we said on this episode and click on the subscribe button down below to subscribe. We'll see you guys same time next week. Have a good day, guys. Bye.
Bye.